Right. See, Absha here, before entering into the testing, we should familiar with the SDLC. I think you know about SDLC. Any idea on SDLC, software development life cycle?
లేదండి.
Recording in
See, SDLC stands
No,
for
you know, God.
See, SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. It is nothing but a steps to develop a software. A steps to develop a software. That means what are the steps involved in a software development? So in a software development, the first step is requirement collection. So requirement collection means the vendor people will go to the client area. They will collect the requirements. Vendor people will go to the client area. They will collect the requirements. So here, who is a vendor and who is a client? Vendor means who develops the project. Vendor means who develops the project. That person or that company is called as a vendor. Client means to whom you are developing the application. Client means to whom you are developing the application. So that person or that company is called as a client. For example, just only for example, Wipro software company develops a project for ICICI Bank. So in this example, the Wipro people called as a vendor. Why? Because here the Wipro is a software company. They are going to develop the project. So they are called as a vendor. Who is a client? Or ICICI Bank is a client. But till this, are you okay? Who is a vendor and who is a client? Vendor means who develops the project. Client means to whom we are developing the application.
We are developing the project. Okay.
Right, Amma? In every
Yes.
software company, in each and every software company, we have a team. The team is requirement gathering team or requirement collection team. The team is requirement gathering team or a requirement collection team. In every software company, we have that team. So that team will go to the client area. They will discuss with the client and they will gather the requirements and they documented the requirements as a BRS and FRS. So here the BRS stands for a business requirement specification. FRS stands for functional requirement specification. Okay, ma? So they prepared a documentation like BRS and FRS. BRS means a business requirement specification. FRS means functional requirement specification. After 5 minutes, I'll explain what is the template of BRS, what is the template of FRS, and I'll show the example documents to you. So after 5 minutes. Okay, but anyway, as a QA engineer, we are not involved in this phase. As a QA engineer or as a test engineer, where is our job? Our job with testing. So only for information, we have to discuss all these things. And before entering into the testing, we must familiar with the SDLC. So that's why roughly I'm explaining the SDLC here. Okay, ma'am? So next one is a feasibility analysis. What is the meaning of feasibility? So generally the feasibility stands for possibility. Feasibility means possibility. So to perform any task, we have a number of possibilities. To perform any task, we have a multiple possibilities. See, out of the multiple possibilities, we have to choose which is the best possibility. So for example, a general example, I'm in Amirpet. I want to go to airport. What are the different possibilities to reach the airport? So by bus, by car, by bike. So we have a different options. Out of that, according to my budget, according to my comfort, according to the timings, we have to choose which is the best option. Here also in the feasibility analysis, mainly the 4 things will be analyzed. The first one is the domain analysis. Domain analysis means the project is coming under which domain. So like the project is coming under banking domain, or insurance domain, or telecom domain, healthcare domain, so e-commerce domain. So in our language, we can say like the project is coming under which sector, banking sector, healthcare sector, e-commerce sector, like that. So first this analysis will be there, the domain analysis. The next one is the technology, like which is the best technology to develop the project. So Java is the best or the .NET is the best. So which is the best technology to develop the project? Resources to complete the project. So what are the hardware things required? What are the software things required? How much manpower is required? So finally, time and budget. To complete the project, how much time it will take, how much cost it will take. So it is also called as a time and cost. So all these things will be analyzed in the feasibility analysis, domain analysis, technology analysis, resources analysis, and time and budget analysis. So of course, as a QA engineer, we are not involved here also. It is also only for information. So the next one is the designing. So in the designing, two documents will be designed, HLD and LLD. HLD stands for high level designing. LLD stands for low level designing. So HLD is representing the complete project architecture, whereas the LLD is representing the individual modules architecture. HLD is representing the complete project architecture, whereas the LLD is representing individual module architecture. For example, your project is having a 3 modules. On each and every module, the clear information is available with LLD, whereas the complete project information is available with HLD. Now coming to the coding. So coding is done by the developers or programmers. So they will develop the source code here. They will develop the source code. Now, what is the meaning of source coding? The code which is used to develop your project. The code which is used to developing the project is called as a source code. Source code is done by the programmers or the developers. They will develop the source code here. After the coding, now coming to our job is testing.
Yes.
So as a test engineer, we need to download the client requirements. We need to study the client requirements. So we need to verify whether all the requirements fulfilled in the project or not. Whether all the requirements fulfilled in the project or not. See, where is the client requirements? Already in SDLC first phase, we have a client requirements. We have BRS and FRS. We need to download that requirements. We need to study that requirements. And after studying the requirements, we have to check whether all these requirements fulfilled in the project or not. So that is called as a testing. So while this verification, if you use any tools, so that is automation testing. So without using any tools, if you conduct a testing, that is called as a manual testing. For example, you want to test a project with 1,000 inputs. You want to test a project with a 1,000 inputs or a 2,000 inputs. So in that case, better you should go with the automation. Why? Because manually passing the 1,000 inputs is a very difficult job that will take a long time. So in that case, if you have a large amount of inputs, or if you need to repeat the same testing for multiple times, better go with automation. So if you have a small amount of inputs and only one time testing, you need to conduct the testing only for one time. So then better you can go with a manual without using any tools. If you conduct a testing, that is called as a manual testing. So here just it is a
నీ క్లాస్ 10 minutes లోనే ఉంది. Sorry.
Yeah, no. See, Absha here, it is just about our testing. Now coming to the next one, release and maintenance. So release means install the application in the client area. Install the application in the client area is called as a release. So after that installation, if the client needs any modification or if the client is having any doubts, so that will take care by the maintenance team. So these people are also called as a production supporting team. So release means install the application in the client area is called as a release. After the release, if the client needs any modification or if the client is having any doubts, that will take care by the maintenance people. So they are also called as a production supporting team. Just it is a rough information about SDLC. So after this SDLC, we should know what is the test engineer responsibilities. So as a QA engineer, what is our job responsibilities? See, we can feel like it is our course content. Okay. So initially we need to download the requirements like a BRS and FRS. Initially we need to download our project BRS and our project FRS. After downloading the requirements, we need to study the requirements. So they will give a time period according to the project size. They will give a time. In that time period, you need to download the requirements. You need to study the requirements. So while studying the requirements, while studying the BRS and FRS, if you have any doubts, you have a doubts in requirement documents. So where you need to enter the doubts? You need to enter the doubts in RCN document. RCN stands for Requirement Clarification Note. Requirement Clarification Note. That means in the requirement documents, if you have any doubts, you need to enter the doubts here. See, it is also called as a clarification document. The another name for the RCN is clarification document. So to whom you need to send the doubts? You need to send the doubts to SME, subject matter expert, or domain expert, business analyst, or author of the document. SME means subject matter expert, or domain expert, or business analyst, or author of the document.
So this downloading the requirement, we should only do, the testers should do?
Yes, Amma, we have to download the requirements.
Okay.
Okay. So in the future, I'm going to explain what is the process and how you are getting the requirements and everything. Just today, it is a rough information like
This is
overview
part of
about
manual testing you're explaining, right?
Yes, Amma, it's a part of manual testing.
So this
Okay.
this notes we will get it, or we should take it from the recording only?
I mean, if you want, I'll get it now itself. Just a minute. Actually, we have a soft copy, complete the material soft copy, like class 1, class 2, class 3, like that. So till I didn't enter into the regular class, till I didn't enter into this class 1, just I'm giving the information about the course only. It is introduction part. Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
anyway, just a minute. If you need that notepad, I'll send that notepads to you. You can download it. Just
Thank you, sir.
I mean, open your chat box. In the chat box, I send 2 notepads. Please save in your machine.
Sure.
Okay. See, now it is only the introduction part only till I didn't enter into the class number 1. So once this introduction is over, then I'll explain the class number 1 document. Okay. See, if you have any doubts in the requirement documents, where you need to enter the doubts, you need to enter the doubts in RCN. RCN stands for Requirement Clarification Note. So this is also called as a clarification document. Clarification document. So if you have any doubts in the requirements, you need to fill here. To whom you have to send the doubts? You need to send the doubts to SME, subject matter expert, or domain expert, or business analyst, or author of the document. The next one is, as a QA engineer, our main job is TC preparation. What is the TC preparation? Test case preparation. It is the main job of the test engineer. So before this TC preparation, we have to identify the test scenarios. We have to identify the test scenarios. What is the meaning of a test scenario? Test scenario means the main functionalities to be tested. Main functionalities to be tested. See, that means what are the important points to be tested? So that is called as a scenarios. Under each and every scenario, we need to prepare the multiple test cases. So mainly we need to prepare the test cases based on the scenarios and based on the use cases. Based on the scenarios and based on the use cases. But what is this use case and where is this use case? See, this use case is a part of your FRS. The use case is a part of the FRS. Now I'll explain what is a BRS and what is a FRS to you within 2 minutes. See, in this FRS, we have a use cases. By seeing the use case only, we need to prepare the test cases. By seeing the use case only, we need to prepare the test case. Now I'll open the document number 1, the class number 1. In that class number 1, we have a BRS template and FRS template. Now, what is the meaning of a template? Template means a predefined structure or a predefined format. So please open your notes. Now, you must maintain a physical notes. The notes must be there. So please take the heading. The heading is a template. Template. Take the definition for the template. Note it. So template is nothing but a predefined structure, or a predefined format. Predefined format. Right. Now take the heading BRS. BRS. Take the definition for that. BRS stands for a business requirement specification. Business requirement specification. It is nothing but the raw data given by the client. Raw data given by the client. So that means whatever the data given by your client, the as it is data is called as a BRS. See, now I'll explain the BRS template, but as a QA engineer, mainly we are depending on FRS document. But before entering into the FRS, just roughly we should discuss about the BRS. See, in the BRS template, observe the first point, introduction. There are two types of introductions. The first one is the customer introduction or client introduction. The second one is the project introduction. So here the customer introduction is different, the project introduction is different. So for example, previously we discussed a small example that is a Wipro software company develops a project for ICICI Bank. So in this example, the Wipro people called as a vendor and the ICICI is called as a client. So for example, for 5 minutes, assume like ICICI is our client. ICICI is our client, assume like that. See now, here the client introduction or the customer introduction means the introduction about that bank. The introduction about that particular ICICI bank is called as a client introduction. That means when they established the bank, I mean on which year they established and how many branches they have. So who is a CEO, who is a founder of that bank. So and so just the information about that particular organization is called as a client introduction. Whereas the project introduction means the introduction about the application. The introduction about the application. That means how many modules they need, what are the functionalities they need inside the application, and all those things are called as a project introduction. For example, in a demo class, my introduction is different, my course introduction is different. My introduction means my name, my experience, and all those things are my introduction. My course introduction means what are the things I'm going to cover in this training part, that is called as a my course introduction. Okay, here also the client introduction is different and the project introduction means the introduction about the application is called as a project introduction. Next, existing system. Presently in the client area, whatever the workflow is going on, so the process of workflow is called as a existing system. Presently, our example is ICICI Bank. So in that ICICI Bank, what is the existing system? That means for deposits, what is the process they are following? For withdraw, what is the process? For loans, what is the process? Presently at client area, whatever the workflow is going on, the process of that workflow is called as a existing system. So this existing system may be a manual system or it may be an automated system. Now, what is the manual system or automated system? For example, in the client area, without using any computers, if they are working, so that is a manual. So in that client area, with using computers, if they are working, that is automated. For example, assume like in our ICICI Bank, if there is no computers, they are using only the records, only the manual records. So that is a manual. The existing system is manual. But already if they are using some systems, so they are using some applications inside that, so that is called as a automated. So then some people are having a doubt already, if they are automated, then why they came to our company? So they want to update the features. They are not satisfying with the existing features. They need more comfort. So they need advanced updations. Then they came to our company for a new application, updated application. Right, Amma? Till this, are you okay? See, in this existing system, what are the drawbacks are there? That means what are the problems facing with that existing system? So the client is asking a new application means he is facing some issues with the existing system. So what are the problems faced by your client? What are the problems faced by your client with that existing system? So the next one is proposed system, that what the client is expecting. So it is also called as a expected system. So what the client is expecting from us, what type of application he is expecting. So the system architecture or the project architecture, it is a pictorial representation of the proposed system. A pictorial representation of the proposed system or the expected system. Finally, business requirements. It is nothing but a list of client requirements. List of client requirements. For example, the client needs a login page. The client needs a customer registration page. The client needs a deposits page. He needs a withdraw page. So like that, the list of client requirements is called as a business requirements. See, now coming to our template is FRS. As a QA engineer, daily we are depending on the FRS document only. Daily we are depending on FRS document only. So what is the FRS? FRS stands for Functional Requirement Specification. Functional Requirement Specification. In FRS, mainly there are 6 points. See, observe the 6 points. I'll explain the first 3 points. See, overview, prototype, page elements. Overview, prototype, page elements. Here the prototype means the screenshot of the page or the snapshot of the page. So whatever the page they are going to explain in this FRS, the screenshot or the snapshot of the page is called as a prototype. For example, here I'm giving a snapshot of a login page. It is containing a username, password, login button, and so and so. So prototype is nothing but the screenshot or the snapshot of the page. Overview means the information about the page. The information about the page. Whatever the page is displayed in the prototype, the information about that page is called as a overview. Page elements means the elements available in the page. The elements available in this page. Now, what are the elements available in this page? So we can see like username. Username is a text box. Next, password. It is also a text box. Login. Login is a button. So like that, page elements are nothing but the elements available in this page is called as a page elements. Now, what are the input fields here? Can you guess where you can type the input? Where you can give the input here? With
In the
Username and
username.
password.
there are only 2 input fields. Only the username is the input field and the password is the input field. Can you type anything in the login button? No, we can't type it. We can't give any input here. So only 2 inputs, username and password. So what type of data you can enter and what size of data you can enter? It is nothing but input validations. Input validations. See, on that username and password, what type of data, what size of data. Now, what size of data means minimum how many characters and maximum how many characters you can enter. What type of data means whether is it accepting alphabets or numerics, and all these things are called as a what type of data. See how it is helpful to the QA engineer. Now, as a QA engineer, we need to test the application with a valid inputs and with a invalid input. That is called as a positive testing and negative testing. That is called as a positive testing and negative testing. Positive testing means test the application with a valid input is called as a positive testing. So test the application with a invalid input is called as a negative testing. Now, why you have to go with a positive and negative testing? Our application should accept the valid inputs. In the same way, our application should restrict the invalid inputs. Okay, our application should restrict the invalid inputs. We have to check the both things. So, but how can you say like which is the valid data and which is the invalid data? By following these rules, by following these input validations, if you prepare the data, that is a valid data. Against to the input validations, if you prepare the data, that is called as a invalid data. So, but no need to by heart this input validation. Why? Because these rules are different for each and every client and each and every project. Whenever your project is changing, whenever your client is changing, these input validations will be changing. Just we need to download our FRS. We need to study that FRS. Based on that FRS, we need to test the project, but no need to by heart all these things. Okay, ma? Now, one more thing, we are not preparing the FRS. I mean, don't feel like how to prepare it. So we need to download it, we need to study it, and based on this FRS only, we need to test the project, but we are not preparing the FRS. In this input validation, we have rules and regulations, like what type of data you can enter and what size of data you can enter. So it is helpful to prepare the valid data and invalid data. So what is this error state? Error state means when you are passing invalid inputs, then what type of message the application should display? What type of error messages the application should display? That error messages are nothing but error states. Now observe the last 2 points in the FRS. The last 2 points are use case diagram and use case. So use case diagram is nothing but a pictorial representation of the use case. That means this diagram is used to easily understand the use cases. But what is this use case? Use case is containing actor action and system response. Actor action and system response. So assume like it is a use case for your Gmail. It is a use case for your Gmail or Yahoo Mail. In your Gmail, what is your first action? Initial action. You are entering the URL www.gmail.com. Then what is the system response? It should display the login page. After that, what is your next work? You enter your
email ID and password
and submit. After that, what is the system response? It displays the inbox, your inbox. Okay. So based on this use case, we need to prepare the test case. Based on these use cases, we need to prepare the test cases. In the test case, we need to perform this action. In the test case, we need to perform this action. In the expected result, you need to write this system response. That means when you enter the URL, then what you are expecting, your expectation is it should display the login page. And when you enter the valid username, password and submit, then what you are expecting, is it should display the inbox. Right, Amma? So based on this use case only, tomorrow we are going to prepare the test cases. Okay, Amma? See, how can you define a use case? Use case is nothing but a brief description of actor action and system response. Okay, a brief description of actor action and system response. See, now the FRS is containing totally 6 points. What are the 6 points here? Overview, prototype, page elements, input validations and error states, use case diagrams, and use cases. Now I'll show the example FRS to you. It is a example banking FRS.
So we will get the FRS document from the test manager?
Yes, sir. Actually, that is based on the company standards. In some companies, by our
I thought only we'll get business requirement document. Okay.
Yeah. So according to our company, the standards will be there. I mean, in some companies, our superiors only. Our superior means maybe the test lead or test manager. They are sharing the documents through the mail. They will send a mail to you. So in some companies, we have a tool, a separate tool for that. The tool is called as a configuration management tools. Configuration management tools. These configuration management tools are used to share the documents among the team members. Sharing the documents among the team members. So just we have a username password for this particular configuration management tool. We need to log into that tool, and there is an option like upload and download. So just you need to go with the download option. It will show the documents, what are the documents available for the downloading. Like you want to download the requirements or you want to download any templates. So like that. So there is a categories are there. Our category is presently the requirements. Just you should go with the requirement category. In the requirements, which requirement you want? You want a BRS document or you want FRS document? Simply select and you can download the particular document. In some companies, with using a configuration management tools, we need to download the documents. Again, in some companies, we have a common repository. Common repository means shared folder. Shared folder. There is a folder. The folder will be sharing by all the team members. So they will give a accessibility of the folder. Just we need to open the folder. The folder is containing all the stuff. You can download the entire stuff like your company templates and the requirements and everything you can download from the particular sharing folder. Okay, ma? There are 3 options. Maybe your superiors may send it through mail, through the mail. The second one is through the configuration management tool. The third one is common repository or shared folder. So with using that shared folder concept, they will give a accessibility of the folder from your machine. So you need to access that folder, and whatever the things you want to download, you can download from that particular folder. Okay. See, now coming to the example document, example banking document. Here, I'll send this example banking document to you. Just a minute. No? See, now I'll send two Word documents to you. One Word document is BRS and FRS templates. BRS and FRS template. And another Word document is a banking FRS document. So please save the two documents in your system. Please save the both documents. See, now I'm opening that banking FRS. See, no need to by heart it, just we need to download it and try to understand the particular FRS document. See, all of you, please observe my screen. In this banking FRS, today we are going to see the bank homepage. Today we are going to see the bank homepage. What is the meaning of homepage? Homepage means the first page.
Where it will take to everything, like.
Yeah, when you enter the URL, whatever the
First
first
page.
page is opening, the beginning page in your project is called as a homepage. See, in this bank homepage, observe the FRS points. The first point is overview. The second one is prototype. Third one is page elements, input validations, use case diagrams. The use case diagrams are also called as a task flow diagrams. The use case diagrams are also called as a task flow diagrams. I'll explain all these diagrams. Finally, use cases. The use case means one side you have a actor action, opposite side you have a system response. Okay, one side you have actor action, opposite side you have a system response. On each and every use case diagram, we have individual use cases. I'll explain all these diagrams and use cases. See, initially we should see the prototype of your homepage. See, observe the prototype. That means the screenshot of the page. On the top of the page, you can see the 5 buttons. Now, what are the top 5 buttons? Home button, personal banking, corporate banking, international banking, and about us. If you click on a personal banking, it will display the information about a personal banking. Here it will display the information about a corporate banking. Here it will display the information about international banking. Here it will display the information about this particular bank. So now coming to the left hand side, there are 2 boxes. Now one box is customer login and another box is banker login. So this customer login is for, if you click on the personal, it will display the login page for personal banking. Here the login page for corporate banking, the login page for international banking. Now, what is the difference between these top 3 buttons and the left hand side 3 buttons? If you click on this personal banking, it will display the information about a personal banking. Here the information about a corporate banking. Here the information about international banking. But observe here the left hand side box. This is for login page for personal banking, login page for corporate banking, login page for international banking. Are you okay, ma? You got the difference? These 3 buttons for display the login page for personal banking, login page for corporate banking, and login page for international banking. It is mainly for customer purpose. The next box is banker login. So this is for both bankers and administrator as per this particular project. In this project, this box can be used by the banker and administrator. Who is a banker? Who is an administrator? Banker means the bank employees, like the bank manager, cashier, and assistant manager, accountants, and all those people are called as a bankers, the bank employees. If the bank employee wants to log in, the bank employee need to select the branch name. He enters the username, password, he can log in. How many details he need to enter? He need to enter 3 details. So branch name, in which branch he is working, username, password, login. So if the administrator wants to log in, admin have to give only the 2 details. Admin have to give only the username and password. Admin have to give only the username and password. Admin means the person who manages this project. The person who manages this project, that person is called as an administrator. Anyway, this page is containing totally 4 different types of users. Now, who are the 4 different types of users? Number 1, administrator. Number 1, administrator. Number 2, banker. Number 2, banker. Number 3, customer. Number 4, visitor. Number 4, visitor. So what is the difference between the customer and visitor? Customer means if the person is having an account in this bank, so that person is called as a customer. The person don't have any account, just the person wants to check the site, so just he enter into the site, but he don't have any account in this bank, so that person is called as a visitor. Now what are the options helpful to the visitor? The top 5 buttons the visitor can use. The bottom links the visitor can use. What are the bottom links here? The bottom links are customer services, internet banking FAQ, privacy, terms and condition, disclaimer, and sitemap. Okay, the visitor can use the top 5 buttons and he can use the bottom links. Okay, now coming to the overview. Overview means the rough information about this page. The information about this page is called as a overview. Home page allows a different users like a admin, bank employee, various customers like an individual customer, corporate customer, and international customers to log in and access the application for further usage. And also it provides the information about various services offered by the bank. It provides the information about various services offered by the bank. Just the information, rough information about this page is called as a overview. Prototype is nothing but the screenshot of the page or the snapshot of the page. Now coming to the page elements. Now, what are the elements available in this page? On the top of the page, you can see the 5 buttons. Say, observe the top 5 buttons. Now, what are the top 5 buttons? Home button, personal banking, corporate banking, international banking, about us. On the top of the page, you can see the 5 buttons. Left hand side, so there is a first box. In that box, you can see personal, corporate, and international. Personal, corporate, and international. There are 3 buttons. And you can see there is a drop down in this banker login. What is the drop down here? Branch name is a drop down. Username is a text box. Password is a text box. Login is a link. So in this particular project, the login act like a link. But in some projects, the login is like a button. Okay, say the branch name is a drop down or combo box. The username is a text box. Password is a text box. Login is a link. In the bottom, you can see some links. Now, what are the links in the bottom? Customer services, internet banking, FAQ, privacy, terms and conditions, all these things. As a QA engineer, we need to check each and everything. You should not leave anything. So news. On the right hand side, you can see a news. Here, the bank related news will be scrolling. Just it's a scrolling text. The text is going to be scroll up here. Okay, ma? So just we need to download the FRS and we need to study the FRS. We are studying this FRS. And after the 3 points, what is the 4th point? Input validation. What are the input fields in that page? Username is an input field and password is an input field. But they given only one rule. What is only the single rule? The rule is only the mandatory. Mandatory means it's a compulsory field. It should not allow the blank values. It should not allow the blank value. But I have a doubt here. My doubt is how many minimum characters are accepted, how many maximum characters are accepted. So whether is it accepting a special characters or not. So like that, if you have any doubts, where you need to fill the doubts, you need to fill the doubts in RCN template, requirement clarification note. So within 1 or 2 days, we are going to see how to fill the RCN, everything. Within 1 or 2 days, we are going to see, we are going to fill this particular doubts.
So we have to fill and give it to whom? Requirement, clarification?
Yes, see, observe here, observe the document we discussed. See, while studying the requirements, if you have any doubts, where you need to fill the doubts, you need to fill the doubts in RCN, and to whom you have to submit your
what
doubts.
is N means? Requirement clarification?
Note.
Sorry, ma?
Note. Okay.
Requirement clarification note, NOTE note. Okay. So we need to send this doubts to whom? You need to send the doubts to SME.
Subject matter expert or domain expert?
Domain expert, business analyst, or author of your document. Okay,
author of your document could be like our senior, right? So team lead.
No, author means who prepared the document. Who prepared the BRS and FRS? See, for that, business again, analyst. You have to see your SDLC. In SDLC, what is the first phase
Usually-
requirement collection? We discussed it like
Yeah,
there is a
business analyst does that, right?
there is a team like a requirement collection team. The BA is the leader of that requirement collection team. So the requirement collection team, they will go to client area, they gather the requirements and they documented the requirements as a BRS and FRS. The BRS and FRS is designed by the requirement collection team. The BA act as a lead for the requirement collection team. Okay, ma? Right. See, after the first 3 points, what is the fourth point in the FRS? The fourth point is input validations. And the fifth point is use case diagrams. The use case diagrams are also called as a task flow diagrams. So here we have a 4 diagrams. The first diagram is a visitor flow. Visitor flow. Now, what the visitor can use in this page? In this page, what the visitor can use? So visitor can use the top 5
Home
buttons.
page.
Top 5 buttons the visitor can use, and the visitor can use the bottom links also. Are you okay? What are the top 5 buttons? Home button, personal banking,
Just
corporate
because as
banking.
he's not a customer, he'll be not having any login information or
Yes.
anything. Yeah.
He can't use these particular options. He can use only the top buttons and bottom links. Okay, ma'am. See, now observe the diagram of the visitor. See, visitor flow. So initially, visitor enters the URL. When the visitor enters the URL, he can see the home page of the bank, and he can use the top 5 buttons. So what are the top 5 buttons? Home button, personal banking, corporate banking, international banking, and about us. So when he click on a personal banking, then it displays the information about a personal banking. Here it displays the information about a corporate banking. Here it displays the information about international banking. Here it displays the information about this particular bank. C stands for continuation. Continuation means he can use the bottom links also. What are the bottom links? The bottom links means the blue color links. Here you can see customer services, internet banking, FAQ, privacy, terms and conditions. So he can use the bottom links. The bottom links are customer services, internet banking, FAQ, terms and conditions. Already I shared this document with you. So already you saved it in your mission. Today you need to study this FRS. Okay, man. No need to by heart it. Try to understand this FRS. Okay. Now coming to the second diagram, admin flow. My administrator can enter the username password directly, right? Initially he enters the URL. He can see the home page. In the home page, directly he can enter the username password. Click on login button. Then he enter into which module? He enter into the admin module. So coming to the banker, what is the difference between the admin login and banker login? Banker cannot give the username password directly. Before enter the username password, he need to select the branch, in which branch he is working. Right? Initially he enters the URL, he can see the home page, and he will select the branch, in which branch he is working. After selecting the branch only, enter the username password, click on login button, then he is entering into which module? He is entering into the banker module. Right? Only this is a difference, only the extra thing in between your banker and administrator. Right, Amma? So now coming to the middle one.
I have a question.
Yes,
Amma. So my question was, so overall in the topic, which part of SDLC we are using, you are explaining, right?
Sorry, here we are discussing the FRS of the document.
Okay.
Presently we are discussing.
In the SDLC FRS document we are discussing, right?
Yeah, presently in SDLC.
And did you give in the last 2 classes where we missed, did you give the syllabus? I mean syllabus copy?
Today I covered that the last 2 topics. Just now I covered the both classes, class 1, class 2. Today I didn't enter into new topic. Today I'm covering the last.
No. When you started, like not new topic, I'm telling. I mean, like any syllabus, did you give it to anybody?
No.
The syllabus page overall in automation, what you're going to teach.
Yes, the syllabus is available with Srinivas sir. He will share with you. Or just a minute, if you want, I have in mind.
Thank you.
Please download the syllabus.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Right. See, now I have 5 to 10 minutes. I need to cover the issues. Presently, we are discussing the FRS document about your bank homepage. Now, in FRS, how many points? In FRS, there are 6 points. What are the 6 points? Overview, prototype, page elements, input validations, use case diagrams. Now, how many use cases we discussed? Just see. The first use case is visitor flow. The second diagram is admin flow. The third diagram is customer flow. The fourth diagram is banker flow. Now, both of you, are you okay with these diagrams, the 4 diagrams? Now, please unmute. We have only 5
Yeah.
minutes. No?
Yes అండి.
Are you okay
I have
with-
one doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
ఇక్కడ బ్యాంకర్ కి అడ్మిన్ కి సెపరేట్ గా ఏం లేదు కదా, ఒకటే ఉంది కదా.
Yeah, actually, in this
Login.
particular project, they given a same page for both banker and administrator. But in some projects, the admin is having a separate URL. So,
Oh,
for
okay.
example, if it is ICICI Bank, so www.icici.com/admin. When he enter the /admin, directly he will go with the admin login page. But in this project, so they give a only single page for both administrator login and banker login. And they said like, so banker need to give a 3 details. Now, what are the 3 details? The banker need to give the branch name,
Branch.
username, password, whereas administrator need to give only username and password. No need to select the branch. Without selecting a branch, directly admin can log in with username and password. Right, Amma? See,
Okay.
till now, how many diagrams we discussed? Divya, are you okay, Amma, with the 4 diagrams? Hello, Amma. Divya, you are in mute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you okay with the 4 diagrams? The first diagram is a visitor flow. The second diagram is a admin flow.
Admin flow,
Admin can
yes.
directly log in. The third diagram is a customer flow. So observe this customer flow. When he enters the URL, he can see the home page. When the customer click on personal, what's happening? He'll get the login page for personal banking. Here the login page for corporate banking, login page for
International banking.
Right?
Mm.
So banker flow, it is same like your admin flow, but only the difference is he need to select the branch name. After selecting the branch only, he can enter the username, password, and login. Then he's entering into which module? He's entering into the banker module.
బ్యాంకర్స్
Okay,
మాడ్యూల్.
ma'am? So totally 4 diagrams we discussed. On each and every diagram, we have use cases. So we have 4 use cases. The first use case is based on the first diagram. See, what is the first use case here? Visitor process flow based on our first diagram, a big diagram. See, the use case is containing actor action and
And system response.
One side you have actor action, opposite side you have a system
Depends
response.
on this both only we have to write a test
Yeah,
case.
based on this, we need to prepare the test cases and test scenarios. So tomorrow we are going to see how to prepare the scenarios, how to prepare the test cases, everything I will explain in the tomorrow session. See, observe here, initially he enters the URL, you can see the home page of the bank, and visitor can use the top 5 buttons. What are the top 5 buttons? Visitor can use the home button, personal banking, corporate banking, international banking, and about us. When he click on a personal banking, it displays the information and services offered for personal banking. When he click on corporate banking, it displays the information and services offered for corporate banking. When he click on international banking, it displays the information and services offered for international banking, like that. Whatever the information we discussed in the big diagram, this first diagram, visitor flow, the same diagram information is available in a tabular format. In a tabular format. So one side we have an actor action, opposite side we have a system response. Please study these things at your home. And now coming to the admin process flow. So initially he enters the URL, can see the home page. Directly the admin can enter the username, password. They click on the login button. He enter into which module? He enter into the admin module. So now coming to the customer flow. Initially he enters the URL, he can see the home page. When he click on personal, so what it will display? Login page for personal banking. Here the login page for corporate banking.
Corporate bank.
Here the login page for international banking. Finally, coming to the banker process flow, initially enter the URL, it displays the home page, and directly he cannot enter the username, password. He need to select the respective branch. After selecting the branch only, enter the username, password, click on login button. Then he enter into which module? He's entering into the
Banker module.
For today, you need to study only this particular home page only. Don't enter into the admin module. So while
Okay, just
studying
go
at
through
your
it.
home,
Go through it and understand, right?
don't enter into 2.0. Okay, you need to study only the home page till this only. Till this, it is the 7th page. Out of 39 pages, you need to study up to the 7th page. Okay, it is FRS. No need to by heart it. Just try to understand. So based on that banking FRS, in tomorrow's session, we are going to see how to prepare the test scenarios and how to prepare the test cases and everything. In tomorrow's session, we are going to see. Right, Emma? So just today I covered the last 2 sessions. So tomorrow we are entering into the class number 3. Okay, ma? See, for today I'm closing here and see you on tomorrow at same time. Now, any queries? Or while you are watching your recordings, if you have any doubts, please note down the doubts. And in the tomorrow session, please ask the doubts. So after clearing your doubts only, I'll enter into a new session. Okay, ma? Are you okay with the session, today's session? Divya,
Yeah.
can we close for today?
Yes, sir. So
Right.
I forgot to ask you permission. Can you, if possible, can you send me the recording?
Yeah, that will take care by Srinivas, the
Right,
coordinator.
I have sent.
Yeah, Srinivas sir will
Thank you
send
so
all
much.
the last classes. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Right. But today I'm closing here. See you on tomorrow at regular timings. Same timings.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.